Hello, my name is Julia, and welcome back to part 3 of how a con artist took advantage of my elderly aunt. Hi, first I have to thank you all for watching these videos and liking them and commenting on them and sending me your messages. Honestly, when I first started this, I thought I might get 2 followers, and that included my actual family. So thank you so very much. It has been so cathartic to be able to share my story in the hopes that this story can help protect you or your families. So when we left off, my uncle had died in 2021, and once he died, this guy named Pat, who'd been grooming them, really began grooming my aunt hard. This is that capable woman who was taking herself to the grocery store, but now all of a sudden, Pat wants to drive 2.5 to 3 hours, at least twice a month, one way, to take my aunt to the grocery store. Then it was, let's just play cards. Let's do everything that you like to do, Aunt so-and-so. Because again, he's calling her Aunt so-and-so because he's just so broken up, so distraught that my sister was killed. Somebody should call her Aunt. So let's get to the part where I'm really getting concerned of how involved this stranger is becoming in my aunt's life. It's becoming alarming. You're going everywhere. You're actually moving doctor's appointments so he can come the 3 hours from Houston to take you to the doctor's appointments, where you used to do that on your own. And a friend of mine who is a social worker actually commented, that's a great way to groom people, because then you have access to what are their allergies, what's their financial information, are they a diabetic, what's their social security number. So all of that was happening. And every time I would ask my aunt, are you sure this Pat guy, are you sure he's on the up and up? Because I think it's a little weird. And she assured me, he's just so nice, he's so helpful. He bought me a bird feeder. He bought her a bird feeder, so therefore, great guy. So in 2022, my husband, as an early university gift for graduating from college, he and my older son went down to stay with my aunt as well as go to the Formula One race that is in Texas. And while they were there, she just kept talking about Pat and how involved in everything this guy seemed to be. And my husband said, Aunt so-and-so, I'm really worried about this Pat guy. How well do you really know him, other than the fact that he was just an acquaintance of Julia's sister? Oh, he's just such a nice guy. He's been so helpful. And that's when we learned that she then told me and my husband that Pat was really good with numbers, and that he should be the new executor of her will. And obviously, it's her life, and I didn't earn a penny of that. But because we don't know this person, he's not an attorney, and just because somebody is good with numbers doesn't mean this person should be the executor and trustee to your will. So we kind of pushed back a little bit on that, but she was absolutely convinced, and she said, you're too busy, you're too far away, and he's good with numbers. Well, come to find out, now that we're full circle and she has passed, and in talking with the other nieces and nephews, they asked her the exact same thing, and she told them the same thing. And interestingly enough, Pat told her to tell us, they're too far away, they're too busy. I'm good with numbers. In fact, I'm an accountant and a CPA. Turns out, not so much. So we all pushed back, and she was just bound to determine that he was going to be the executor of her estate, but definitely not a beneficiary. She made that very clear to all of us. Again, it's not my money. She can donate it to a cat shelter. It's not my money. But I simply didn't trust this person, because again, I have that instinct, and it's on overdrive, that this guy is a bad guy. And that brings us into, he got to be the executor. The former executors were my father and her one nephew on her side. They were co-executors and co-trustees. Then it became only Pat. So that's part 3. Stay tuned for part 4.